Welcome to MSP Unplugged's Emerging Vendor Series. I'm your host, Paco Lebron. Join us in this new series highlighting ConnectWise's PitchIT contestants as we highlight an emerging vendor who is changing the game and making a big impact in the MSP space. But before we go into that, I want to talk to you about our in-person event, and that is TechCon Unplugged. TechCon Unplugged will be at the Woodbridge. It will be in Woodbridge, New Jersey, September 7th through the 10th at the Delta Hotels Woodbridge. Join us for a mixer that's going to kick off an evening and the next 2.5 days to help better your business with great content that will not only save you money, save you time, but most importantly, improve your services. This is a show for any IT solution provider. So this means this is the place for you. Tickets are on sale for $349. Head over to techconunplugged.com and get your tickets today. All right. I want to go ahead and introduce my co-host. We have none other than Sean Lardo, Economy Evangelist over at ConnectWise. Sean, how are you today?
Fantastic. Depending on who knows when this episode is going to go out, but it's Friday, right?
Yep.
I'm prepping and just we're going to date this next week. I head to Columbus, Ohio for ASCII Edge. So busy times. Everything's good. That's the end of it. How are you today, sir?
Better than good, better than most, as I like to say. But, I'm kind of bummed because ASCII usually is in the beginning half of the year for us in Chicago. And this year it's actually in the later half in the end of September. So have to look forward to, because I know they just remodeled their whole event. So it's kind of want to be the first to hear it. But everyone who has attended has all said great things. I know you mentioned that the PitchIT program, Contestants, and ConnectWise will be there representing as well. So
absolutely,
it should be a good time.
We actually did Jerry was gracious from ASCII enough to agree with on terms of setting up new sponsorship levels for emerging technologies, which came from the PitchIT conversation we had. So he literally, we know they're bootstrapped. We know they're trying to make sure they invest wisely. So he made it advantageous for them to be involved, which was amazing. Create new inventory. And we actually did a podcast with Marvin while in Tampa 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. Mm-hmm. So me, him, and Jerry and talked about it. So we've had really good results. Still some work to do, but that's what PitchIT's all about is, evolving this and making it to the next level. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And for those that don't know, we're referring to Marvin B over at the IT Business Podcast. Check out that podcast as well. Definitely a good listen. And Uncle Marv himself will actually be the host and MC over at TechCon Unplugged in September. So definitely a hoot. If you do not know who he is, check him out. You will not be whatever the word is to fill in the blank, because he is definitely a great personality. So
he's a special guy. He's a special guy.
All right, but I don't want to keep our guests waiting any longer. I have known about this individual for quite some time. I'm super excited to have him on. We have Walter Contreas. He is the CEO of Binox MSP. Walter, how are you today?
Great, man. Great. Thank you for having me. What's up, Sean?
I'm good, man. How are you? And
it's Friday.
It's Friday. Acknowledge that he was he sounded like he said your last name the correct way, as opposed to me. I heard the R.
I don't get that often.
I heard the R roll happen and stuff. It was really nice. It was very Latin.
It's beautiful.
What I will tell you is that whenever I do have a Latino guest, it is a super gracious opportunity because A, we get to pronounce our names the way that we have pronounced it all of our lives. And two, you don't see a lot of us in the space. So I want to make sure that we do get some good highlighting of that as well. And thus my excitement to have you on here and talk to you a little bit more about your journey, Walter, and kind of how you came to the channel. So why don't you share a little bit about how that kind of came to be and how Binox MSP came to be as well?
Absolutely, man. And thank you for that intro, by the way, Paco. I am an immigrant. I actually came to this country when I was a young kid. I was about 17 years old. I am proud to be an American citizen now. But I can tell you that the journey for me, it's a continuation. It's a never-ending journey. And so I came into the country. I worked my butt off to actually go to school. And I'm an ESL student. I spent about 3 years doing ESL before I could take regular classes. And but it's always been about working hard, having good ethics, good purpose, and technology was the thing that I was always attracted to as a child. I'll go back a little bit in time, but just transistor radios, I used to take them apart, put things together. I actually worked at a TV repair workshop in the Bronx, and I just learned about tech, right? Tech was always my thing, and when I had the opportunity to go to school, I chose to go to school for computer science. Uh, Little did I know that I will eventually be serving people in a whole different way, running our MSP, which I'm still running in New York. So it's been a blessing, honestly.
Awesome. And so you just mentioned you're based out of the Bronx in New York. So out for all our New Yorkers, I
I
know that's
left the
going to be
Bronx. I moved
okay.
up. I moved.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know if it's up or down, but I live in Long Island now. I've been here for
Okay.
about 25 years now,
He's fancy.
and but I'm still, I'm still from the streets. I can do my thing.
So you think you're still boogie down, is what you're saying?
I
But yet you're in Long
still
Island?
listen. That never leaves you. It's like riding a bike. So, but no, I'm super happy to be here. The new journey we have now is Binox MSP, which is what we're here for. But I'm still actively running, uh, literally coming out of a sales call right before I came into the podcast. So for
Very cool.
MSP, yeah.
Very cool. So I would love to talk to you more about your MSP as well, but I want to make sure that we make the most out of this episode as well for Binox. And so can you tell us a little bit in your own words, what does Binox MSP do for the channel and for MSP partners?
Sure. Look, when I thought about creating Binox, I really wanted to empower the MSP. One of the challenges that we all have is sales, right? Most of us are very technical. When we start our business, we know how to fix computers, right? We know how to troubleshoot things, but sales comes after. And my mission in life is to change that, to help MSPs become a sales organization and to focus in sales, because that is the way to grow, the only way to grow. And so Binox is a software as a service tool. It's a revenue growth platform, you will say, that helps MSPs from sourcing a lead in our system, similarly to other tools like ZoomInfo that you may have heard of, and then taking that lead into our CRM and using automation and machine learning and other things to help you get closer to that prospect. And we're really focused on the sales process, so we will prescribe a process inside of the platform, which is quite different than other CRMs that just give you out of the box. Here's your box. Go figure it out. We're actually going to prescribe a way to do things that has brought so much success to our own MSP. Obviously, you can customize it and put your own spin to it, but I think a lot of us are looking for that guidance when it comes to sales.
Gotcha. Now, really quick, I know you probably mentioned this earlier, but how long have you had your MSP so far?
We've been here 15 years.
15 years. So from that experience, obviously you're bringing that into the platform as well. I imagine you had a lot of your colleagues or peers that probably talked about something like this, and then this is what kind of brought that idea to you, or kind of what made you think of to bring, because it is a need, right? And I think you said it really best, where either we all understand sales is important, right? And Sean can share as much as possible on how the argument of sales is the leading is the revenue generating arm of any business, whether you like it or not. As the owner, you have to figure it out, and this is something that's the lifeblood of a business. But you said something very specific, and of where I think some of our peers will try and put some of these things together and try and bolt it on, whether, like you said, a ZoomInfo or a Data Axle, or however they're trying to get their leads, and then they're trying to then implement them in a CRM tool, clean that, and go through there. And it sounds like you actually have this platform now that allows for an MSP on their size being able to do all of that in one shot, in one platform, one pane of glass, to be able to go from lead generation, research, prescribe, and actually some guidance on how to do this as well. Am I correct in that frame of mind of how you're?
That's exactly it. That's exactly
perfect.
it. When you think most of this came from a scar tissue, honestly, right? Dealing with CRMs and other systems that after spending, I actually calculated, we spent probably about $250,000 just trying to get CRMs and systems to work together. As a result, yeah, we'll get some sales, but we will never get it to work, and it will be painful, and you'll need experts. I actually had an in-house developer just for that one CRM. It's a nightmare, and most MSPs can't do that. And so the goal for me was, I by the way, before it was that Axel, it was called Sales Genie. I think they're on like 5 different names by now, but I was so early on, like early 90s, downloading leads from these providers and realizing that there's got to be a better way, right? The technology wasn't there, but I can tell you that today we can provide you with humanly verified data that is so much more accurate. And then aggregating tools where I had somebody today that I showed them this one tool we have, which is a browser extension for LinkedIn and just website visitor. And she said, I need like 3 tools to do this, just this one thing, right? I need LinkedIn, I need this, I need that to do that. And I was like, yeah, you can just do it here. But that's the whole point, scar tissue, learning a lot. I don't think I will be here. I was just telling one of my teammates on the way here that the blessing, because you can look at it as a curse also, when you're going through that difficult time, learning and doing stuff and failing. But the blessing is coming out on the other side, and saying, look, I learned this. God wanted me to learn this so that I can teach it and share that with the rest of the world. And in this case, we have a very solid product that I'm super proud of.
Well, I think just to jump on that, yeah. Well, first, you're so freaking motivating when you talk about it too. I love your perspective. It's very optimistic, right? But it's the challenge of, and this is why I think PitchIT has been successful, is because people like you that have become vendors, over 60-70% of the PitchIT contestants are currently MSPs. So, but you're the ones that, not just MSPs, because there's a ton of MSPs out there, but there's a thing about the perseverance of it, and thinking like, okay, this sucks, how do I fix it, right? A lot of people would say this sucks, and the next day this sucks, and the next day this sucks, all until they got a business, right? Or they're still in business, but they're blaming everybody else for the problems, right? So the fact that you fixed this, ingenuity is important here, right? And you actually applied the problem. And this is the thing, this is the first thing about when you pitch, what problem are you trying to solve? That's the first thing you talk about. You guys have actively solved a problem for yourself. And so when you're talking about it, you should start with, this is the problem I was trying to solve. How to grow my business, how to generate more revenue.
Yeah.
Now, how did you do it? Here, now I can tell you everything.
I on the way to lunch, I was just talking about this one you will think is a very simple task, but I'll give you one that we spend 6 months thinking about how to solve it. And that is the technology business reviews, right? Because some of our customers are quarterly, some of them are yearly or biannually. And so if you get a customer, some of these CRMs will have a way to sequence that. But the problem is that if you brought somebody in the middle of the sequence and you put them in, they're going to get emails right away. So for us to solve the problem, we had to create this entire scientific platform that if you put somebody today, in 3 months is going to send the next email. And in 3 months is going to send the next one or the next invite. And
so you have the ability to do automated campaigns for nurturing, and you can change, and you can have multiple campaigns, is what you're telling me?
Correct.
And you can adjust frequency based off whatever the campaign is?
Exactly. We just recently launched our next version of marketing automation. And we believe it's very simple because it's more of a dragging and dropping components to campaigns. We always prescribe some of these. So there's, I believe, 12 campaigns pre-built that you can use. And you can just take them and start marketing. But if you want to build your own, you can do that as well.
So do I have the ability to edit the existing one? Like if there's
absolutely.
a piece of content? So, and then the other question, I know I'm geeking out in the wrong direction, Paco, so I'll end it here. So
good.
Does it automatically personalize to my signature by uploading my account and everything else to all
Oh,
content?
absolutely. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. It's
Logo and everything.
everything.
Okay.
And the
I'm
thing
done.
we did, Paco, that's interesting is like we didn't want to copy something that already existed, right?
Right.
The goal for us was we're going to build this from scratch. Like I see a lot of emerging providers that are just using templated CRMs. I'm not gonna mention the names, but there's so many out there, and we didn't want to do that. So I'll give you an example. We think about problems very from the MSP side, like we have a phone dialer built into Binox, and SMS texting tool also if you want to engage with your prospects in different ways. But when we thought about it, we said, look, we have all these CRMs that you have to get all the tools and all the pieces to put it all together. You kind of duct tape the whole thing together, and yeah, you'll make it work. It'll be harder to work, but we wanted to make it right out of the box. Everything's in one place, and that's how we think about problems.
No, I like that. And if you want to reference why that's important, look when Salesforce bought Pardot. And look at what happened there. And Salesforce already had built a marketing email campaign management piece, but Pardot was their market automation platform. They bought it, and the goal was to have a seamless integration into that, and it was not for years. It was a struggle. They try again. We're talking about two huge products, and it just wasn't. So what they did was they settled with the patch to just at the very least be able to push leads over that generate if you set up your score and everything else, and they still sit almost as standalone products. They've never put them together.
We think about problems from the MSP perspective, right? So I'll get guys, MSPs that are 3 employees, 6 employees, and they'll say to me, Walter, I don't have time to do marketing. Well, guess what? We are launching in the next couple months our ChatGPT integration, where you don't even have to think about content creation. We're going to ask you 3 to 4 questions as you're going through these campaigns, same campaigns, but now you can use generative AI to build the content, right? And we're training these models where all of this information that is MSP related content is being trained on these models. So now people don't have to even think about it. To do a blog post, which is for us, by the way, a blog post is the most efficient marketing tool we use. We do a blog post, we put it on our website, and then we send emails and we call. That is the most successful campaign. I think we have believe it or not, we have like a 90% open ratio on some of these emails because it's relatable. It's related to the industry we target. And so what we're building in Binox is an integration with WordPress. So you can post that blog post in 2 minutes, and then the marketing campaigns could be sent out directly from Binox all in one shot. So now you have an incredible tool that for me is what brings me more business into my own MSP. So it's a phenomenal way to market.
Gotcha. Now, Walter, we've gone through so much on the product, right? And it sounds like, it's been pretty successful. You have a lot of development that's going on, but you heard about the PitchIT program and you decided that you did want to participate. How did you find out about the program and what made you decide to join the PitchIT program itself?
I'm actually in my 2nd year of PitchIT, and I can tell you that the first year I learned so much. I mean, I honestly, the stuff, so PitchIT, it's sort of like an incubator, like Sean was saying, from ConnectWise. And the great thing about it is that I had just become a member of ConnectWise Invent program, which is ConnectWise certifying the application. And so, I learned from there about PitchIT, and they told me you should apply. I applied, and I got in. And it was such an incredible experience just joining everybody. But the whole thing about PitchIT is that Sean and the team brings different people every week that have successfully either exited their business and had a great valuation or have something else to teach us. Like Jennifer Bleem, by the way, Sean, wow. That was like sales one. That was right up my alley, man. Right. What an amazing speaker.
She did nice again, but that I think that's the point is that it takes all of us to raise a child, right? It takes a tribe, right? It takes a community, take your pick. And the fact is there's all these people out there with all these talents that have done really well. They actually specialize in that, and so bring them to the table and let them talk about it. And I don't know, there was no way that we can know what every one of these vendors needed to learn. So if you make it as well-rounded as possible and give them just enough, they can, again, you're entrepreneurs, so typically you're going to pick up and run with it after that, right? I would hope so. Or again, back to you won't be in business very long. So yeah, she did a great presentation, sort of like Heather Margolis, and we tried to make it as open as we could, again, touching as many different areas as we could. From the sales piece, the marketing piece, the mergers acquisition piece, the state of the space piece, and then also
it changed drastically after COVID, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. It absolutely did change. I mean, again, if you're an MSP and you didn't become king of the hill during COVID, you missed your opportunity.
Yeah.
Seriously.
No, and every year gets better, Paco. It's just so you know, like and this is just my own personal opinion, but from last year to now, this is a way better version of PitchIT because of the quality of the people that are coming in. It's just the camaraderie. Like, there's so many great people in the group too, and we all engage with each other. I mean, I made some great friends. We don't see each other as a competitor. It's just a great environment.
I tried to get them to talk, and they don't, which is it's really bad for if you want clicks. Like, I mean, I literally had them on a live stream last year, Walter, and actually it was Walter and a competitor, and I was like, okay, so tell me, what do you think? And they're like, oh, they're so great. The technology is such a nice. I was like,
but they were though. They just are, man. Like,
again, ruined. Like, I am a bad Vince McMahon apparently. So
I was making videos at IT Nation of all of the people, and I was posting them on my channel. Like,
yeah, like, here's my competitors. I love them all. I'm like, please stop. Like, you're supposed to have some hatred. Let's go. Like, I don't
get the cage. No.
And I had to remind them during the live stream. I said, your competitors, you have to say something bad. And they're like, okay, he's awesome. I'm like, that's not bad. That's like not a bad thing.
That is true.
So my suggestion to you, Sean, is that there's at IT Nation Connect, there's a ladder with a briefcase with the contract, and then we go ahead and
it's the prize money.
Battle.
The winner
we'll
gets their wins. The person that gets their wins. I love that. Yes.
Now, Walter, you spoke about a lot of the great benefits of the platform, right? And hopefully that, for those listening, they're going to be intrigued. Can you walk me through someone who is interested in going through the process and partnering with you? Can you guide us on how that journey from prospect to partner looks like when they reach out to know a little bit more and see what Binox is all about?
Look, if one can remove the fear of becoming a salesperson, and I'll hold your hand throughout it, we will help you. In other words, when someone joins our platform, even if it's a trial, we always make sure that somebody is assigned to their account. We have a few meetings to help them set it up. There is, I run every Friday. We run a call every Friday in which I basically come in with some sort of a topic. Last week was something about sales and the spin methodology. And so, and I'm always looking for people to come out of their shell and talk about their issues, because that's the only way we can resolve them. I am not naive to think that every MSP is ready to become a salesperson, but I actually try to change their way of thinking by saying, look, you already are a salesperson. You already take calls. You already deal with problems. You're already closing tickets. You're calling to follow up to make sure that that ticket was closed correctly. All you have to do is reverse that a little bit and start thinking about sales, and then that's it. So we will help everyone successfully join and on board on the platform. But then again, like anything else in life, Paco, you have to invest. And that's one of the things when I interview people, I tell them, look, are you willing to invest this, and that into getting off, and doing the right thing and starting the process? If someone says no, more than likely they're not gonna invest the time. But I tell you, about 90% of the people I speak with are ready to start, because like Sean said, this is the MSP moment. If you're in this business right now, this is the moment we're super sexy. And I'm not sure how long it's gonna be, because you know the economy and stuff. But right now is the time.
And how long do you think, from that whole process, if someone joining in brand new, they're willing, they're trained, they want to jump on the platform, how long does it take for them to get rocking and rolling with your platform?
I had a guy that told me that we showed him how to source leads, which is super simple. You just put like a zip code area and all of that. And I had a guy that told me that in a week he had closed his first deal. I mean, you'll have to tell him, you have to talk to him, but to get the CRM right, to get the marketing pieces right, you're gonna need to invest a week or two. And again, that's over a couple of phone calls with us, but you will have to invest like any other CRM or any other marketing automation. I am very keen on the fact that we want to make it as easy as possible. So there's a lot of templating things, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of documentation, and we're always on the chat. We have a little chat on the corner. You can chat with us all day long, and if we need to, we'll get on the call. But I would say 2 weeks. Somebody, if you really want to get your marketing going, and you'll start with the platform in 2 weeks, right? And then obviously things like marketing, setting up drip campaigns, things like that could take longer. And that really depends on to what extent you want to get your marketing going.
And I imagine you make it easy for those that may be on a platform already to import those either leads or pipeline, things of that nature into your platform as well.
Yeah, I remember that conversation actually. It was like this with the dev team. So, are you okay with just exporting contacts and importing contacts? I'm like, no. I want a direct connection to their APIs so I can suck the life out of it and bring it into ours. So, no, we tried our best, Paco, to make it as easy as possible, for sure.
That's good to know. Awesome. Well, I know we're going toward the end of the episode here, and we've shared a lot, obviously, on regards to sales and things of that nature. Is there anything that you want to share on Binox, or anything as far as any lasting words to those that may be listening, and also how they can go ahead and get either a hold of you or take a look at the product and the platform itself?
Yeah, I obviously want to thank Sean for always being there as helping us grow and everything. And I will tell you, our ConnectWise integration, Binox, the real game changer for Binox is the fact that we have a very tight connection with ConnectWise, and we have a super deep integration with a few other PSAs as well, by the way. But our ConnectWise integration is second to none. Like, you can even do direct searches in Binox, and it looks at the data in ConnectWise. I mean, it's insanity. We're like one platform when it works together. So I would say that that's a huge plus for our partners. When they join, they say, wow, that's what I'm looking for. As far as how you can join, I mean, we always have a trial in our platform. You're more than happy to try our platform, and you can just visit Binox, Binox, MSP.com, and there's a form in there. You can just put your information. We'll get in touch with you.
Awesome. Sean, any lasting words that we may have not covered on this episode?
No, I think it's a matter of, and I say it every time, check them out on the marketplace, but also check out these series. Look at all the vendors. MSPs constantly are talking about their stack alignment and where to go. And part of my English, but a lot of them bitch about bigger companies and what they can't get out of them. The reality is that's why these companies exist. That's why the PitchIT program exists, is to bring the agile companies in that are going to do other things and be part of it. So don't complain after the fact. Again, what Walter said earlier, if you're experiencing issues, you have to figure out a way to fix it. Sometimes you have to fix it internally, and sometimes you can actually hire to fix it. So you should be looking to do that here. Either or. I don't care. It's up to you to run your own business. If your business succeeds, it's on you. If it fails, it's on you. But if you're going to be proactive, go out proactively, look at these technologies, these vendors, and also give them feedback on shit that you need.
Yep. I mean, I think that's such a great point to highlight, is the fact that, if you are worried, or, hey, I've been burned by an emerging vendor before, or how do I know they're going to stick around? There are companies like ConnectWise that are vetting, that are putting in their marketplace. They're ensuring that we have this approval, letting you know that we've done the due diligence. These vendors have committed and showing that they are here for the long haul, not only in supporting the MSP partners, but also the longevity of their business as well. So definitely something to highlight as well. So Walter, again, really appreciate you coming out. Thank you so much for gracing us and hearing more about the product and the platform itself. Sean, always a pleasure, my friend. We got another one in the can, and we still got many more to come through. And we appreciate you for tuning in every Wednesday and Thursday to catch more of this series. Watch the video podcast on youtube.com/MSP Unplugged. Like, subscribe, hit that notification button so you never miss an episode. We want to again thank you for watching and see you next time on MSP Unplugged.